Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to When the Town. My name is Dave Gregory. Here's what we got coming up today. We bring back another away point from our tremendous away form this season. It's a 1-1 draw wrapped up our scheduled league away games, with Luton only failing to take points from just 4 away games this season. Amazing. We're going to talk about how we got on at Blackburn yesterday, and also we're guaranteed third position. This also means we've also improved year on year since we got back in the league, every single season. We're going to ask, when we analyse this, which of the players have had the biggest influence in the team for you over those years. We've got your 3-word reviews and much, much more. With me, as usual, is Steve and Bottaro. Good evening, lads. How you going?
Evening, Dave. Yeah, very good, mate. Very good indeed.
So, watched the game last night. Obviously, I was at Blackburn. I don't know how to start. I don't know. What did you think of the game, Bottaro?
I thought it was a very, very well. First off, especially end to end, I thought, well, you can see Blackburn. They clearly wanted the points, needed the points, and we just went about our business as normal. I thought.
Steve, did you sit there and wonder? Was you worried about the game? Or did you have your eyes in the wrong place? If you know what I mean?
No,
you one behind your hands.
No, I had no concerns at all. I mean, it was an important game for us. They had to get something. They had to win, and I just felt that we were comfortable. To be honest with you, I didn't see that we were under any sort of problems. You know, again, they had more of the possession, but you know, we're perfectly happy with that. Yeah, no, very, very comfortable. I know we'll get onto it, but I've done some notes, and they're nearly all about Amari Bell.
I love the fact that you do notes when you're watching the game.
That's because I'm sad.
No,
well, I wouldn't say that.
It's more professional. That's what it is.
That'll wear off. That'll go.
I mean, at the stadium itself, you know, for those of us that travelled up for a nothing game really for us, you know, I think it's all about momentum. I think Rob Edwards said that in his post-match too. It's about the momentum. Do you feel it's time to rest players for the whole match, or should we just carry on?
No, I think carry on. You can't get to that absolute 100% when you don't need the points, when your position isn't going to change. You know, you can do all that you want with regards to like the physical stuff, but that mental edge, I don't believe that you can be 100% on it when there's nothing really riding on it for you. I mean, but you look how desperate Blackburn were, and we were just not going through our paces. We were trying, but they still couldn't beat us. I'd be delighted if we got them in the playoffs.
Yeah, to be fair, like you say, I think Rob Edwards said yesterday, I think he said it was third gear the whole way, wasn't it, pretty much? He said stuck in third gear, can get out of it, can get, excuse me.
It's motivation, isn't it? It's motivation when you're in that position. Do you think we were motivated enough last night, or do you think they're thinking, well, I don't want to get myself injured because I know we've got 2 really, really big games coming up?
I didn't see anyone ducking out of any challenges at all.
There was a few quite crunching challenges going in as well, weren't there?
If we needed to have won that game, we would have done, but we didn't need to. And I think there's just that little edge that naturally gets taken away from you. You know, and we got a couple of players got some more minutes, and we've got through the game relatively unscathed from what I can make out. So just perfect, really.
I think the main aim, sorry, before we get on, I thought the main aim for us yesterday was to keep the unbeaten streak going. I think that was key. That was all we had to do. I think going 1-0 up, I think the players then relaxed a little bit more. Obviously, players coming in to get minutes in their legs and whatever else. And obviously,
so Rob Edwards only lost 1 away game in his tenure, and that was the first game.
The very first game,
You know, that's a bit of a shame. But when you look at our record away and think we've only lost to 4 teams.
It's incredible.
Or is it 5? No, it's 4, isn't it? It's Bristol, Stoke, Watford and Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we'd turned those ones around. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the the game last night then, Blackburn won, Luton Town won. We had 2 changes from the Borough game, Clark and Berry for Campbell and Pelly. And I thought, I think when we started the game, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried there. And it was sort of like a bit indifferent for us at times. I don't think we played super well in the first half. Would you agree with that, Steve?
Yeah. Again, I'll just go back to what I said though, mate, and that's, because we didn't have to, there wasn't that edge, that desperate need to achieve. I think that, just a little bit of the edge came off, but we done everything that was asked of us. We sort of held them at bay really quite easily, to be honest with you. And they missed one sitter, a left-footed shot that
Pickering, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Lad pulled it wide. That was awful. But no, I think in that position, we've, Middlesbrough, they're struggling. All the teams that are around there, they're struggling. They're not scoring freely. They're making mistakes. And, if the worst that we are is a little fraction off 100%, then, I still think we're doing better than those teams, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Blackburn's record before the game wasn't that good. I don't think they'd won in maybe 8 games.
Yeah, I think it's 7 or 8 games.
7 or 8 games.
With a negative goal difference as well, I believe.
I think they're on... they're on about... -2, aren't they? Something like that. -2. So they're not scoring goals. So you go there with the right attitude. You think we're not going to lose this. But like you say, Pickering had probably the best chance of the first half. But I can't overly remember Horvath have to make any tremendous saves first half. I mean, for all their possession, for all their sideways back was pretty football.
Straight at him as well, weren't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've really only got sort of Bradley Dack that, has been a frequent goal scorer. I mean, Brereton Diaz last season, he was good. Not up to it this season. He signed a pre-contract agreement. So, he's not 100% committed to him. So I think Blackburn are in a bit of a poor position in that regard. But I just don't see that they've got goals in them, to be honest with you.
So they don't come back to bite us on the backside, eh? If we do get him in the playoff.
It won't.
Well, I don't think so.
We should be fine.
Jacob was just reminding us that Amari Bell was having the performance of his life with brilliant defending.
He's some player, isn't he, Amari Bell?
Isn't that amazing that some of his previous club's fans wrote him off when he came to us?
To start with, when we were playing a 4 earlier on in the season and last season, there was a mistake in him. But I think more than anything, I think that the 3 centre halves that we're doing now, I think suits him absolutely perfectly. But also, I think his intensity and his concentration is just gone up a level as well. I mean, the Blackburn game, 18th minute. Lovely covering from Bell to stop Brereton Diaz. 35th minute, Bell again, lovely tackle and run up the wing, laid it off. 37th minute, dangerous pass to Bradley and he cut it out. And then 63rd minute, Bell, critical deflection to save a goal, celebrated it as if he'd scored it. Brilliant, just brilliant.
I feel like Amari Bell as well, since he's gone into obviously a back 3 on the left-hand side of it. Excuse me, I've got something dodgy on my throat today. I feel like he's got more freedom now to almost like how Naismith had last season. Like a midfielder can drop in, the whole midfield, like the Canberra, for example, will drop in that space. Yeah, Bell will charge forward. I think at one point he took on 2 players and he beat them both, didn't he, for pace and power and whatever else. Yeah, and the guy is just phenomenal. He knows what his job is. He knows not to go too far at the pitch. He knows not to trap. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't go and express himself too much.
Yeah, he's not gun ho with it. He knows what he can do. He knows that Nakamba or someone is going to slot into that gap. But I just think his intensity levels and his concentration is just up a level. Brilliant.
Do you also think he's benefited from being with the multi-million-pound player Nakamba in the team as well? Do you think
everyone has, to be fair? Everyone has. I think he makes everyone look a lot better than he as well. But look, it's not taking nothing away from any of the players that we've got.
No, not.
They've all had a great season. I think on average, you're probably getting 7 out of 10s every week for most of them. So,
well, I thought Blackburn was actually one of Nakamba's quieter games. didn't do anything wrong. But, in previous games, you've just thought, crikey, how can you look past this guy? He was just like a mere normal human being.
I think I think in a 5 minute spell, not a robot after all.
Yeah, someone's had his kryptonite off him.
He's just a normal man.
But I think there was a 5 minute spell, I think, in the first half where he cut out about 3 interceptions. There was 3 interceptions, I think, in about 5 minutes, and that was pretty much all he had to really do. That was I say all he had to do. It's a bit disrespectful to him.
He done everything asked of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
we get to half time 0-0, and do you know what? I sit there and think about it. I can't really say that I was too enamoured by the first half. I think we did a good job, but we come out the second half, all guns blazing, and obviously, hopefully, Rob Edwards said something to the team to just push up that notch a little notch further. Like you said earlier, I think we was on a bit of a cruise control, Bottaro. And then we got the opening goal from Lockyer.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah. And what an assist from Morris as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, cross with his wrong foot. You know.
And I think they were saying on Sky Sports after the game, they're doing the analysis. I think they said something along the lines of, the defenders were probably they were thinking he probably should have laid it off until they saw the cross go in the box.
Yeah.
And the defenders, maybe it was poor defending. I don't know. They haven't tracked him. But it's just almost his brain works a split second quicker than the others.
There was a central defender right with him.
Yeah.
But
sort of like,
there was only one person that was going to win that, and if he didn't, then Bradley was immediately behind him as well. But Lockyer was just too strong for him, and he didn't. It wasn't a bullet header. He sort of just let the cross come onto him, and he sort of just guided it down into the corner. Again, just really strong.
I feel like Sonny as well. Give him a little nudge in the back, and he pushing towards the ball, which helped as well. But brilliant header, brilliant goal, great assist, everything all round brilliant.
Do you think that? I mean, obviously Lockyer's made the championship team of the season, which thoroughly deserved. But do you think other supporters of other clubs, and in fact probably management of other clubs, just overlook him sometimes? I get the feeling sometimes they just think, it's
good.
Yeah, well, I know it's good, but do you not think that they may overlook what he's done and how he's been for Luton Town?
Maybe before this season, yes, but maybe after this season, not a chance. I think they're going to look at this player and they're going to go, this guy's got something about him. He's pure passion and commitment. Everything about him. We're not saying that, he's a Virgil van Dijk. He's not like that kind of... Do you know what I'm saying? He's not like a £75 million technically amazing best player you've ever seen on the ball kind of thing. But what he is, he's got more desire, more hunger than most defenders to get that ball back.
He's one of these characters that defines Luton's character.
Yes.
The two are in sync. And I think that's why it works so well.
Yeah, you're not going to see him charge down with the ball and play it out from the back all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? He's going to play simple, but he wins the ball every single time. I don't understand it. The guy, you look at him, he's not the biggest defender in the world, is he?
No, he isn't.
What is he, 6'1"? All right, people might go, I'm only 5'8", or whatever, but...
but I'm 6 foot wide.
That doesn't count.
After the opening goal, though, we could have gone 2-0 up with Sonny, your best friend's attempt to hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, look, Sonny didn't have the best of games yesterday, but I feel like I feel a bit sorry for him, to be fair. I think there's people bashing him all over Twitter as well. I don't know if you boys have seen it.
No.
Bit out of order. Some scapegoating going on again, but it happened to Osho back in the day. So, I mean, look.
Do you think Sonny is just a bit agitated in himself? Do you think he's probably fighting with his form and what he wants from himself? So maybe he's putting himself under a bit too much pressure and doing things that he wouldn't normally do.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. And obviously, I know the thing is like the speed and whatever else. And I know people say, he's not quick enough, he's not mobile enough, whatever else. But
he's been consistent.
I feel like he was he was very consistent.
Very consistent.
I'm obviously, like you say, everyone knows, it's no secret, I'm a massive fan of Sonny, but what I feel a bit sorry for him. He's been out for 7 months with quite a severe injury.
Well, that's it. It
was 7 months, wasn't it? Something like that.
A long time.
Long time. Severe injury. He's come back and he's still finding form. He's played, 5 games, 6 games since he's come back?
Yeah, I mean, that header as well, it's just one of those things, he got it nice and clean.
It hung up in the air though,
it hit the bar. I mean, he'll be disappointed, but, he didn't really do anything wrong with it.
No, of course.
He was there to make the opportunity.
Yeah,
and that would have absolutely topped off our away season.
And it was slightly behind him as well, I felt. Like, it was almost like the ball, like, obviously when the ball gets headed back, I think Morris, wasn't it? Morris heads the ball back. There's not much pace on the ball. He just lobs over kind of thing. Yeah. And he's got to generate the power himself. So we can't criticise him for that. I'm not. But maybe in the game there was a few, criticisms of what he did, but he also made up for it with a great block. So,
well, due to the amount of alcohol I drank last night whilst I was at the game,
you don't remember none of this, do you?
No, I literally didn't realise how late Blackburn scored.
86th, was it?
Yeah, 86, 87, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it was like almost a free head, wasn't it?
Pelly was there, but I think the guy just got a run on him.
Yeah.
Pelly tried to make it difficult by sort of jumping into him, but
And I think that was the loudest we heard Blackburn fans all night when they scored that goal. I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest, that we conceded. We should have hopefully seen the game out. Maybe that's because I want Luton to win every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's only a natural thing that you want, isn't it? But I did like how disappointed Horvath was and a couple of the other defenders. You could see they were really naffed off about it in a relatively meaningless game for us, but they wanted their clean sheet.
So records as well.
It's a good sign. And you said a couple of minutes ago it would have rounded off a good away season. I think there's one or two more that will round it off.
See, I saw something crazy.
I agree with that.
On the stats last night, I think was it Dean Henderson? Was he playing for Sheffield United back about a few years back? And I think Horvath was 2 behind him, amount of clean sheets.
Okay,
as they won the league or something. And I'll be honest, that's the only thing I feel a bit gutted for them, is because the fact that you can see late on, you don't get your 21st clean sheet of the season or 20th clean sheet, whatever it is.
But he's still got another one.
Yeah, and
then playoffs, mate. So yeah.
Well, the playoffs today.
Yeah, but Lockyer said himself. He said he's not interested in the individual accolades. It's all about
teamwork.
The team ones. They're the ones that matter.
And then, given it was such a late equaliser, then Blackburn had a glorious chance to what just shortly afterwards, where they thundered hit the crossbar. At that point, were we worried still, or were we just thinking, it's a bit of luck?
I don't mind people volley from 25, 30 yards out. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, it was a decent effort, but I didn't think he done an awful lot during the game. What's in it, Smodic? Yeah, I didn't think he done a lot during the game, to be honest with you. It was a decent effort. Yeah.
When you think about that, it's a brilliant point. You think about our away form. We touched on it earlier. Have you got the favourite away game that you've been to this season at all?
I've not been to many, to be fair.
The next one.
Okay, the next one. Who's that going to be against, Steve?
It's going to be Millwall, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Millwall or Sunderland is probably the most likely.
Sunderland would be nice, wouldn't it, for the weekend away, to be fair?
I wouldn't go with you.
I didn't say you, did I?
There's
no way I'm sharing. I say I remember you, Steve. Anyway, to be fair, mate.
I mean, the thing
Your
about
missus tell me what you're like. Sorry, can't come down.
Take your time. The thing about the last games, though, are that everyone's playing each other. Borough, Coventry, Millwall, Blackburn.
Yeah, but Borough got nothing to play for.
Well, you know what? I think this is the wrong logic. I think the wrong logic for Middlesbrough. We're resting players. We're not putting our first team out. Whereas Rob Edwards is putting the team out, going, I want to keep the momentum.
Yeah.
Borough is saying we want to rest our players so they'll be fresher. I don't think that's the right tactic.
No, because you can't just turn it back on again. It doesn't work that way. They had a player sent off against Rotherham as well, so that wouldn't have been planned for. So just little things like that. I think we are doing it exactly the right way. We haven't got a fixture pile up, so we can do that. But yeah, but Borough are fourth regardless. So again, it's not going to mean 100% to them. So I think Coventry will win that one.
In which case, Borough will play Coventry, and then we have. I'm hoping that Blackburn turn over Millwall, genuinely.
Yeah, but neither of those teams have got a lot of goals in them recently.
No, but you see, if Blackburn turn, I'd be more confident going to Blackburn than I would be going to Millwall. I think we're too alike as we play.
Yeah. Oh, if we had to win at Blackburn over the weekend, we would have done. I'm absolutely convinced of it. I really am convinced of that.
So out of those teams, though, so you're going to say that Coventry will end up with
Middlesbrough.
So
I can't see Blackburn beating Millwall.
So Millwall, West Brom, or Blackburn. Out of those three, who's your favourite to play? Blackburn. Out of those, one I want to avoid the most is probably genuinely Millwall. Yeah, I don't know about West Brom. I don't know, whether I'm worried about playing them.
Well, again, they seem to be struggling again, don't they? You know, they had that period of where they flew up, got right onto the noses of the playoffs, and then they've struggled again. So
the only thing is West Brom, they've got a lot of individual talent. I know it's a team game, whatever else, before you say anything, but the only thing with West Brom, when they do turn it on, they really turn it on, and they look very, very good. They look at their squad; it's crazy good. I know they're not obviously performing to the heights, but since Corbrand's come in, he's done a great job realistically. I mean, he took it from pretty much the bottom of the championship to in the shout of a playoff place, and they never thought they'd be there 6 months ago.
True.
Because Mill haven't got a lot of goals in them, and again, this isn't tempting fate, so it's not our fault if they put 4 or 5 past us. But I don't think they've got a lot of goals in them. I think over the 2 legs we would do them.
Well, we haven't got much longer to wait for those games. It's quite exciting. I didn't go across the 3-word review at the beginning. I just want to go past some of these because Toby says good away point. Simon, 1 step closer. Hatters News, unbeaten run continues. John, 3rd place secured. Justin, hates Sorba Thomas.
Yeah, because he always gets an assist against us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what? As soon as he went out to take the corner, well, I think that wasn't obviously the first corner he taken, but every time he was on a corner, I'm sitting there going, do you know what? They get another 3 or 4 corners. They're going to score from this. You watch.
Yeah.
And then bang, he sets up one.
He can deliver. Yeah.
And Robbie Bell, most underrated, which we've already talked about. Not anymore. So when you look at our stats, only 38% possession, but that's normal for us when we're in away games. Yeah. Quite a high expected XG. And Towns' 3rd place finish, Mike Simmons has given this information, third place finish means it's 7 seasons in a row that Hat has improved their league position. Wow. And if you look at it, we was in League 2, 11th, 4th and 2nd, then straight through League 1 because, don't want to stay there too long. And then 19th, 12th, 6th, 3rd. So if we don't go up this season, the law of averages says we finish 1st next season.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that League 1 season, Dave, we were at Portsmouth first game, weren't we? And I think we lost 1-0.
1-0 to a really...
Yeah, and we walked out of there, and even Portsmouth fans who are the most blinkered, on the way back to the car, which was 100 miles away. Oh, crikey. But even them were saying... that was a really fortunate win for them. And we just knew that day that at the very least we were going to be competing at a really good level within that division. But I don't think we expected to rip through it.
I don't think we'd expected to rip through it. But our start of that season was Portsmouth and then Sunderland, I believe.
Got a draw there, 1-1, wouldn't we?
Yeah, so it's lovely to see how we go. We just want, in unbeaten in 13 games, we just want to make that another 3.
Yeah. It's not too much to ask, is it?
Well, you'd like to think it isn't. So we asked you on the podcast, we asked you on our socials, which players have been the biggest influence in our team over the years since non-league to now? Yeah. If you had to pick out a few players to highlight, who would, Bottaro, you can start with this one. I mean, you can start with Sonny if you want, but who would be a player that really has a biggest influence on the team, really?
Well, to be fair, there's many players that we can go through, to be fair. I mean, from the conference down to League One. Obviously, I know you're saying Sonny, but for me, nowhere near. I mean, we've got people like... Dog's back. We've got people like... Jesus, put me off track now a little bit. For example, Collins. I felt like he was vital in the lower divisions. With respect, League 1, League 2. Yeah. He scored a lot of goals, but he did a lot more than score goals. Vital.
Yeah, he worked like an absolute Trojan.
He was. Took the words right out of my mouth there. There we go, Trojan. But he, look, there were many players. I think Shinnie was another one.
Oh, Shinnie,
I remember. Andrew Shinnie, I think he, especially in League 2 when we had him, what a quality player he was. Technically, amazing. He had the vision, didn't he?
That link up down the right with Shinnie, Esther and Stacey, and the amount of times he just played it inside the left full-back, knowing that Stacey was going to be making that run already, then cross. Collins knew what was going on, so again, he was already making the run. Yeah. Just sweet, really sweet.
And also, just to say, Collins always a legend for coming on with that penalty.
Yes.
What about when you think about the stalwarts in midfield and defence? When you look back to our non-league times, and instantly you think of that fantastic volley from Steve McNulty.
Yeah. Well, I've got here McNulty and Ronnie Henry. Okay. Just rock solid defenders. Also McNulty could clearly play football to a good level, but there was that time where it was poisonous in the crowd, and it took John Still, and it took a couple of signings like McNulty, like Ronnie Henry.
Characters.
Yeah, they were characters, and the fans got behind them. They could deal with the pressure from the crowd, so then they could just play their game. They just took the whole weight and all the poison away. I think there was that confrontation, wasn't there, with Ronnie Henry? Someone shouted at him, and he said, "Right, well, you come in and see the club next week." And it just all the poison went. But then I just feel people that helped give Luton their identity. You got McNulty, Ronnie Henry, Hilton. You've got to say. As well,
yeah, of course.
And Gray,
he was a bit of an edge, didn't he?
Yeah, Andre Gray getting 30 goals in a season as well. I mean, he terrified. The amount of assists that he got as well, just from being so strong.
When Andre Gray left, I was thinking, how are we going to replace him? But we did. So recruitment's good. So you talk about players that influence the team. You've got to put one big name up there, and that's Super Mick Harford.
Yeah. What a job he's done for the club. But like you say, obviously, just saying, McNulty as well. At the time, he was my favourite player as well.
Yeah.
Playing, everyone used to go, McNulty. People that didn't watch Luton, my mates and that.
Check out his physique. That's all McNulty.
He's very good at football, by the way. Very good.
But that's, again, we talk about other opposition fans and teams underestimating players, as I said earlier. If you look down at McNulty, you see this absolute brick of a player on there, and they go, well, he's not going to be quick. He's not going to be doing this. And it's a bit like when you played Akinfenwa. If he wanted the ball, he just bounced you off it. And I felt the same with McNulty.
Yeah. No, that pre-season, was it pre-season? No, not pre-season. It was a league game, wasn't it? Yeah, and he just amazing.
I mean, McNulty got laughed at the start of every game. And then he would get man of the match.
Yes,
and, if you got to speak to any of them, they'd say, Christ, he was a good player. Oh, he was a hell of a player. He was a hell of a player.
So there is one legend we haven't spoken about so far, and if we don't talk about him as one of the most influential players in our team from non-league to now, then we don't deserve to finish recording this podcast, and that's Pelly. Bottaro, come on.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, what a player. Do you know what? I had a weird thought last night, right, in bed. Don't even say anything. I know what you're thinking.
This could be dark.
It could be, yeah. This could be X-rated.
We're currently 13 games unbeaten, right? If we go unbeaten to the final and win, that'd be 17 games unbeaten. What number is Pelly Ruddock? 17. Who's going to score the winning goal? Pelly Ruddock.
What?
In the 17th minute of injury time.
Imagine. Just imagine. Well, 17th minute of extra time. Just imagine that happens, though. I think it's laid out for him, isn't it? It's going to happen.
Well, this
is what I check now. He changed his number, not
It's a bizarre thing to think about when you go to bed.
The thing about Pelly is he has just adapted to every level that we've gone up. He's just gone with it. He's evolved. Do you remember when we first got him? He was always getting injured. That they got that sorted out. He got stronger and that, and he just adjusted his game. There's been times where he's been the holding guy. He's been out on the wing at times. He's been the one that's driving forward from midfield. So he's played all the different roles in the team. But from conference up to championship, and he's not anywhere near out of his depth. He's outperforming a lot of people that he's up against. So he's just gone level after level after level. And fair play to him for that.
And if we're lucky enough to go up, he'll be the first player ever to take from non-league to Premier League with the same team.
Yeah.
When I think back to my younger days of supporting, I used to idolise Ricky Hill. Ricky Hill for me was my favourite ever midfielder for Luton at the time. However, you've got to look at Pelly and go, he's up there, isn't he? He's up there with the likes of those sort of people, Bottaro.
Oh, of course. I mean, like I said, obviously, I never saw Ricky Hill play live, unfortunately. You're obviously fortunate enough to see that. But what I would say about Pelly is, I mean, at times he had his moments where he struggled, but then he adapted. Like you say, he adapted to the environment. Maybe it was like the system he was playing, I don't know. But the thing that's really, really made me full of a lot of praise for him is, especially in the last couple of seasons in the Championship, he has looked a lot more comfortable than at League One, League Two. In the Championship, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can see that he knows that he belongs at that level and maybe a bit more. Ricky, Dave, he done it at a higher level and he was beautiful to watch. He was quite a pioneering sort of man at the time as well.
Of course, yeah.
You know, he there's an awful lot with him going on, but he was just... you know, his balance, the way he ran, you know, through midfield, he was sensational. He was undoubtedly one of the best that we've ever had. But yeah, Pelly is just taken each step with it without any major problems.
It would be great to see him start in the Premier League and then have all the accolade because everyone will be on.
It's got to happen, surely. Like I just said a minute ago about the whole little thinking I had last night, it's got to happen, surely. That happens. I'm putting a bet on it, by the way, just to let you all know.
Oh, yeah, okay. How much?
I bet on quick.
And so ends that dream.
Yeah. We asked you guys, which players would you say have had the biggest influence on the team over the years? Chris says Pelly for sure. He's been there at every level and been so committed to the club. But others for me include Sonny and Sheehan, who have been key to the team ethos during the rise, and JJ, as his quality secured the big transfer fee that helped us fund. It's a fair point, isn't it?
Yep.
Thomas, hard not to say Pelly. He's been with us all the way. Lewis, number 3, Hiltz, number 2, Potts. Number 1, Pelly. You see what we've got to go here. Legend. He's a total legend. You can't say anything more about him than that.
I think he does a lot. I think the whole situation with Pelly as well is not just the fact that he's, you know, been here for so long or whatever. I think obviously that's a contribution, but it's the fact that he is such a character as well. And every single manager, every single coach that has been at Luton in the last however many years that he's been here, 10 years, has always said that he gets the boys going in the dressing room. He puts the music. He plays the pranks. He does everything. And that's, you need a guy like that.
And it's every day in training as well. You know, he said
morale is up.
He's the one that drives the whole sort of tempo and, you know, the atmosphere.
Luke says, I firmly believe Danny Hilton was our most important signing of the last 10 years.
Yeah, he's been also incredible as well, hasn't he?
Luke asked us to point out any spelling mistakes from Jacob, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago?
Go on then.
And, Hilton was out most important. So
yeah, that's why I didn't say the word out.
Well, that's right. But Luke asked us to, you know, pull Jacob up on that. So sorry about that,
poor
mate.
boy.
Luke no longer works for the podcast, though. We should be nice to Jacob.
I miss Luke.
Ed says, got to be Pelly. Collins in with a big shout for League One and keeping us up. It's all fair, isn't it? Where do we go from here? What are we expecting over these next couple of games?
Crikey.
Victory, victory, victory.
Well, yeah, I think let's deal with the whole game quickly. You know, that might be, you know, a little bit of a slower pace game. Again, I think there may be a keen activity not to get injuries. So, you know, that might be a little bit of a, you know, procession, that one. But it does depend who we play, because I think that will determine how we play, you know, who the opposition is and that. But I do really think that over 2 legs, I do think we've got the number on all of them.
So
over 2 legs.
11 days' time, we get to play the first playoff game, 5:30. Let's hope it's not too far to go. And then on Tuesday the 16th, we're at home. I've already got my ticket. I hope you guys have too.
Oh, I didn't realise they're out.
Yeah, I've got to do some calling tomorrow for one other ticket, but yeah, I've got mine.
And don't forget, it's going to be a full house at home. The home supporters are going to want us to finish the season on a real high note. Yeah,
Robbie Edwards he said that you know, the day against Watford, the atmosphere was absolutely intense. The home playoff leg will be like that as well, provided we're still in the game or we're not 5 or 6 up. Then it will be a little bit lower, but.
Yeah. So before we finish tonight, we've got a couple of things we want to talk about. One of them, Steve, you raised with me earlier, and it was the Sunday FA Cup.
Yeah, no, I just want to say fair play to St Joe's, to be honest with you. I mean, amazing sort of result. You know, the amount of sort of teams in the competition. I mean, I saw the goals on Twitter, and you know, they can play football. So absolutely fair play to St Joe's, and well done on the cup victory, lads. So well done.
Don't they have a certain Adam Watkins playing for him as well?
Yeah.
St Joe's, yeah. I know one of the boys that plays for him, he used to play with me for years as well. Really good player.
Yeah, but no, two good goals that I saw on Twitter, so well done to him.
So also, friend of the podcast, Mark Crowther, is still on his mighty bike ride around the grounds, every single ground in the country, basically, and we wish him well. We don't have time to get him on this evening. But Bottaro, you did ride up here on your bike tonight. How's the training going?
Yeah, it's been about a week, but it's getting closer. But no, look, I'm confident, I'm comfortable. So it's more the fact, can my legs cope? I mean, look at them, Steve. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
I would get them out on the table, but
imagine what the muscles would be like if you weren't dependent on the stabilisers.
So Bottaro's joining Mark and a couple of others from trip from Cambridge all the way to Luton for the last game of the season. Mark's raising a lot of money. He could do with some more. If you haven't sponsored him already, please look him up. Please let him have some money. Some great causes, which include cancer and mind and Keach, isn't it?
Yeah.
So back him up if you can. If you haven't already, just even a couple of quid would be nice for Mark. And I'm going to enjoy following you lot riding because I'm just in a support car. That's the easiest.
Fair play.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Can I take this opportunity as well to wish Josh McCoy all the best? It sort of come out in the socials a few days ago that he's suffering from cancer. I'm led to believe that it's been found earlier, but obviously the whole Luton Town family and definitely everyone here at the podcast is 100% behind Josh and wish him all the best and hope it all goes well.
I think that's all we've got time for today. Can you keep your eyes also on the social media from Jacob as well, because we're unsure when we're recording the next podcast because of events that we have to attend. But I'll chat with you boys afterwards. So keep an eye on that. We'll let you know, but we're not going to miss them. And obviously leading up to playoffs, we're going to try and do some playoff specials as well. And if by chance we get to Wembley Stadium, then we're definitely going to do a Wembley special. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open for when we're coming back and leave your comments if you've enjoyed the podcast. And to everybody I've met recently when I've been out, really good. And I did actually say to someone last night, I'll give him a shout, so I'm going to do it now. Neil Parsons, thanks for sitting right behind me after drinking in the pub with me. So all good. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Thank you.
Calm down.